For more on today's summit of EU leaders, we can go to our Brussels correspondent, Dave Keating. Good morning, Dave. European leaders are going all in on this rise in defence spending.
Yeah, the main thing they're going to be discussing today is this package proposed by European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen 2 days ago, which is called Rearm Europe. It contains a number of changes. The most significant ones would be an end to the fiscal responsibility rules when that spending is for defense. So these are rules that were introduced 15 years ago in response to the debt crisis that require countries to stay below a certain deficit threshold. Under this proposal, that would be exempted for defense spending, allowing countries to majorly increase their defense. The Commission says that that could provide up to 600 billion euros over the next years. Then separately, they want to end restrictions for EU investment arms that previously said they couldn't invest in defense equipment. And also, they want to use part of the EU budget. That would be 150 million euros that could come from the EU budget from cohesion funding. That is a bit controversial with some of the southern European countries because that cohesion funding is normally meant to get poorer regions up to the standards of richer regions in the EU. So there's concern about the countries having less of that available. Separately, of course, we had the announcement from Germany earlier this week where the main parties have agreed to this major move to end that country's debt brake, which is in the constitution, specifically for defense spending. That could unleash €1 trillion in German defense spending. So really unprecedented moves over the past week that need to be discussed at this Emergency Council summit today. This will be really the first EU summit since this really kicked into crisis mode with the US abandoning its European allies. They have been slow to call this council conference because there were fears that if they walked out of here with nothing, it could actually cause more damage than good in terms of global perception. So meanwhile, we've had these ad hoc meetings of some European leaders in Paris and in London. This will be the first actual European Council, which will include all of the EU members, even the most problematic ones.
Now, there is a fly in the ointment. There's a possibility of a spoiler from Hungary with Viktor Orban threatening to veto a statement in support of Ukraine.
Exactly, and that is why they've been hesitant to call this full European Council. Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Orban and Slovakia's Prime Minister Robert Fico have already written to Council Chair Antonio Costa saying they would not support any further aid to Ukraine. Essentially, it's interesting because up till now, Viktor Orban was considered to be towing the Russian line within the European Council. Now he's considered to be towing the American line as well as the Russian line, essentially saying Europe should just shut up for the moment and let Trump get on with his bilateral peace negotiations with Putin, and that they shouldn't be providing any further aid to Ukraine that would prolong the war. Which is the American government's argument right now. J.D. Vance also saying that European countries should not be thinking about providing this Europe-only defense plan and Europe-only support for Ukraine. Now, the most we're going to get from today is conclusions because this is all long-term measures that we're talking about. And conclusions, actually, there are ways to get around this veto. Yes, normally they adopt conclusions by unanimity, but not always. Sometimes they adopt statements and they have exemptions for specific countries. It's been done in the past. That's the key thing to watch today, whether they will do that, adopt a statement with just 25 of the 27 EU countries, noting the discontent of Hungary and Slovakia. Completely reasonable. Talking to senior EU national diplomats yesterday, I've been told they are not willing to water down the conclusions to satisfy Orban, and if he insists on this veto, they will go ahead as 25. So that's the big thing to watch in terms of disagreements between the EU member states today.
Thank you very much.